Hello all, welcome to Code Hub. Today let us solve the LeetCode's daily challenge and the problem is push dominoes. There are n dominoes in a line and we place each domino vertically upright. In the beginning, we simultaneously push some of the dominoes either to the left or to the right. We have to note this point simultaneously. After each second, each domino that is falling to the left pushes the adjacent domino on the left, and similarly the dominoes falling to the right pushes their adjacent dominoes to standing to its right. So when a vertical domino has dominoes falling on it from both sides, it stays still due to the balance of the forces. So for the purposes of this question, we will consider the falling domino expends no additional force to falling or already fallen domino, because it is the one particular domino which is going to fall is not going to give any additional force to the next domino. So you are given a string dominoes representing the initial state where dominoes of I represents if it is L, then the ith domino has been pushed to its left. If it is R, then the ith domino has been pushed to its right, and the dot represents it is not yet pushed. So the dot is going to be changed based on the left and right conditions. So if it is an L, then the direction is like this, and if it is an R, then the direction of the domino is like this. And what is the final state? So for this string, let us take the example 1 and have a observation. For this R, a dot and L, during the first second, so this right will move, this domino is pushed to its right and this domino is pushed to its left, and so there is there is a force equal, both are equal on the both the directions. So this particular domino, third domino, is not going to move at all. So the final state will be R and a dot and a L, and this is our final result. As you can see that R, a dot and an L. And let us see the example 2 for better understanding. Example 2. And what is the string? The dot. Okay, let me copy and paste it. This is my example string. Okay, let us try to observe what is happening here. Okay, this is our initial state, and what is the final state? We have to return that string. This string, during the first second, this L will be we can represent this. During the first second, what is happening? This L will be moved to its left position, and this state will become as L, and this R will be moving to its right position, and this will become an R, and this this domino is pushed to its left, and this will make it as L, and this domino is also will also become an R, since the previous domino is moving to its right position, and this domino is pushed to its left, and this domino will become as left, and these two dominoes remains the same. And during this first second, this is the state, and during the second, what will be happening? This is our first, this is our next state, and this is our second state. This domino is moving to its left, this domino will be remaining the same, it will not change, and this domino will be remaining the same because there is a domino that is coming from its right, and there is a domino that is coming from its left, and since there is equal force, this domino is remaining the same, and these two also will not be changing. So this is our final position, final state. This is our final state because there is no change, final transition. So this is our resultant string. As you can see that ll dot rr dot ll rr ll dot dot. So this is our final string. So how can we solve this problem? Hope you understand this problem. We have to return the final state. So for each, the brute force solution will be a simple one. For each and every second, I'm going to stand on each non-moved domino and check whether there is a left or whether there is a right is going to happen, and I'm going to fill that blank space. It is very simple, but what if the test cases constraints are huge? It is very if very cost efficient, and it will be very time consuming job. The brute force will be very time consuming. So how can we optimize this approach? So for each and every index, I need to know what is the I need to know from its left direction which domino is coming, and from its right direction which domino is coming. If but is that only the directions of the domino is sufficient for to make our conclusion? I think it is not, because each and every time I need to know what is the force for that. Correct. I should know what is the force that is coming to its right and what is the force that is coming to its left. So I can take this string and let us construct some left prefix and right prefix, which is going to say the force of the direction. So this domino to be if this is a blank domino, this domino is going to be filled based on the domino that is coming from its right and that is coming from its left. So I'm going to make a prefix array, make a prefix array, say as left and right, which is going to represent the forces that is coming from both the directions. So this is what we are going to do. So let me say this as right force array. Right force. If this is a right force, how can we fill this array? How can we fill this? If this is a dot, then I leave it. I'm going to fill this force to be 0. And if this is a left, this domino is moving to its left, but I'm calculating the right force, so I will fill this to be 0. And this domino is also forces 0, because there is no domino that is coming from its right. Here there is a domino which is going to move towards right, and I'm going to fill that force to be 0. But this domino, I know that there is a domino that is coming from its right. So if my previous domino is right, then I will fill that force to be 1. Let me say or else what I can say is, initially I will initialize everything to be 0, every forces to be 0. For each and every particular index, I'm going to calculate this right force. Hope I'm making it clear. So I make this particular index, there is no domino that is coming from its right, so I will make it as -1. And this is already a visited array, which is there is a direction in between them, so I will make it as 0, leave it. And since this is a empty space, that is a dot, this I want to fill that particular domino, but there is no domino that is coming from its right direction, so I will make this as -1. And this is a right direction, I am going to fill it as 0. But for the next domino, there is a previous domino that is coming from its right direction with the force 1, so I am filling it as force 1. And for this particular domino, there is a right domino that is coming from with the force 1, with the force 2, because there is a previous force 1 plus 1, which is 2. And here there is a domino that is coming with a force plus 1, so it will be filled as plus 1, which is 3. So what I mean here is, this domino will become a right, and this domino will become a right, and this domino will become a right, which means there is a 3 force. This particular index will be having a 3 force of R. Next, since here it is a left, it is pre-filled, it will be 0 as such. And here it is a right, and this particular force is 0. and for this domino there is a domino that is coming towards its right, towards its direction, so I will fill this force to be my 1. And here there is a previous domino that is coming from its right, so the force will be +1, which is 2. So here the L, which is 0, and here there is a dot, but there is no right domino that is coming towards its direction, so I will fill it as -1. And similarly here this dot is also, there is no domino that is coming towards from its right, so I will fill that as -1. So we have filled the right force. Now we will calculate the left force. Consider I am coming from reverse direction. From reverse direction I note that there should be a domino that is coming towards its left. For this particular domino there should be a domino that is coming towards its left, towards its left. So for this particular domino there is a domino that is coming towards its left, so this particular index will be having a force 2. For this particular index there will be a force 1. So like that we are going to fill the array. So let us see how we are going to fill. For this particular domino there is no domino that is coming towards its left direction, so I will fill it as -1. And then for this particular domino there is no domino that is coming towards the left direction, so I will fill this as -1. And here the L, here it is an L, so it is pre-filled. I will fill it as 0, or else wait a minute, it will be confusing, right? So this is what its index is, right? Okay. For this L we have pre-filled it as 0. For this position, for this domino there is one domino that is coming towards left direction, so I will fill that force to be 1. And for this domino there will be a force 1, so 1 plus 1, which is 2. And here it is a right direction, it is pre-filled as 0, and here is a left direction, it is 1. For this particular domino there is a domino which is coming towards left direction, so I will fix that force to be 1. And for this domino there is 2 dominoes that is coming towards the left direction, so there will be a force 2. And for this domino there will be a force 3. And for this domino it is an R, it is pre-filled as 0. And for this domino there is no domino that is coming from left direction, so I will fill it as -1. As simple as that. Hope I'm making it clear now. And for this L there is a 0, and for this domino there is one domino that is coming towards its left, so I will initialize that force to be 1. So once we have this array, it is quite easier to predict which at that particular index what is the position, either L or R. So now we can just traverse this dominoes string, and let us fill this index as per the output. How can we fill this? If this is a -1, if it is either thing is a -1, we are going to fill the direction corresponding to that direction. What I mean is, for this right force I am going to fill an R, and for this left force I am going to fill an L. So that is what I am meaning here. So as you can see that the right force of 0 is -1. So this there is one force that is domino that is coming from its left position, so I will fill this position as L. Now this is 0, this is pre-filled, we don't want to consider, we are going to consider only the blank spaces. So for this dot there is a -1 and there is a -1, so we are leaving that dot as such. The domino is not changed. So for this R it is pretty clear, it does not change. For this empty space, now we want to check which is to be filled. As you can see that the output shows that this dot is filled with R, which means that the lower the force, that direction we are going to fill. So the lower force is having a right force. So right force is nothing but R. So we have filled it as R. And the next domino, we are, as you can see that there is a same force, equal number of force. So since it is an equal number of force, we are not going to change the state. That is going to remain the same. And for this position, the what is the lower force? The left force is lower force. So we are going to fill that with L. And then L and R is pre-filled. And for this empty space, the lower force is R. So it is filled with R. And for this position, the lower force is L and it is filled with L. And for this, it is -1 and -1. We are not going to change the state. As you can see that now we have got the final state as our answer, which is our required answer. Hope this is pretty clear. The approach is pretty clear. For each and every index, we are going to make the prefix and suffix array which is going to represent the force of that particular index at that particular point. With that, we are going to fill the domino string. It is pretty easy problem. Now let us try to code. So first what I have to do is I will take the size of the array. N is nothing but dominoes dot size. Now I want to have two vectors int, which is called as left force of n, and I would initialize everything to be 0, and right force of size n, which is initialized it to be 0. Now I am going to traverse from left to right in I equal to n, I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. As you can see that I need to have a previous variable, which a previous variable is in the sense I need to keep track on the go. I need to keep track what is the previous direction, either it is a left or either it is a right. So from 0 to n, I'm going to fill the right force array, keeping that previous to be R. So I will have a boolean variable previous direction. Initially it is false. So for this right force, the previous direction to be noted is R. Hope I'm making it clear. So while going on the going in the for loop, for each iteration I'm going to check whether the dominoes of I is a dot. If this is a dot only, I'm going to fill that right force to be either 0 or something, or else I'm not going to do anything. So if my dominoes of I is a dot, what I'm making it, assuming it as if my previous direction is true. If my previous direction is true, then I will increment my force plus plus, right? So I should also have a force variable, int force to be 0 initially. If my previous direction is false, I will make the previous direction to be false only. Previous direction is false only. I will make this force to be 0 initially. I will reset that force to be 0, and then what I should do is I don't want to do anything. If my previous direction is true, I want to increment my force. That's it. And then I can just fill this right force of I to be force. Hope it is clear. If this is a dot, if my previous direction is true, then what does it mean? I have seen a right direction domino that is coming towards its right. So I have incremented the force and I have set it to its right force of I, else the force becomes 0 and I have set it to the right force of I. What is the else case? What is my else case is that if my dominoes of I is not dot, then it can be a L or it can be an R. If dominoes of I is a right direction, then I will say my previous direction is true, else my previous direction to be false. Hope you get the understanding. I will print this right force and so that for right force array and so that it will be more easier. With this for loop I have filled the force array. See out right force of I and see out enter, and I'm going to return an empty string and show this. Let us take the second test case. In the second test case I should get a force array like this: -1 0 -1. Okay, if this I have not filled as this -1, so that it is little confusing. One more. Whenever this is a dot, this right force of I equal to force is incremented, and then right force of I equal to force. Then here the right force of I becomes -1, and I can just eliminate this line so that it will become like this. Now let us try, and for each and every R and L I want to set this previous direction to be true and previous direction to be false, and each and every time my force to be initialized to be 0. Now let us run the code and see. Now you can see that we have built this right force array. You can see -1 0 -1 0 1 2 3, then a 0 0 and 1 2 0 -1 -1. As you can see that we have built this right force array. Now similar way we are going to build the left force array. How we can fill the left force array? We are coming from the right direction. The same code we can just slightly modify. It will be more easier. We are coming in a reverse direction, so int I equal to n minus 1, I greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. And here it is a left force array. The previous direction to be noted is L. Any Domino that is coming from its left direction. So here it is not right force, it is a left force. Just change all the right force to be left force, and that's it. Here the Dominoes of I should be seen as L. That's it. And I will also print the left force array here. But before that, what at all initialize that we have to initialize the same thing here. So my previous direction is false initially, and force is 0 initially. Now let us try to run this and see. I will show the left force array. We have built this correctly or not. I minus minus, right? Why it is taking a lot of time? Here as you can see that we have got the left force array as well: 1 0 minus 1 0 3 2 1 0 0 2 1 0 minus 1 minus 1. So now it is very pretty simple problem. With the right force and left force array we are going to determine the final state. So what we are going to do is, for int I equal to 0, I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So for each domino, if my dominoes of I is a dot, then only I have to change its position. What are the cases? If both forces are -1, there is one case like this. Else if one force is not -1, only that is the two cases, case 1 and case 2. So we can check those two cases. If my right force of I is not equal to -1, and my left force of I is not equal to -1, then what I will be declaring, if my dominoes, then my dominoes of I is nothing but the lower force direction. So if my right force of I is less than my left force of I, then this dominoes of I direction is the ith direction will be left, sorry, will be right. Dominoes of I equal to R. Else, if my left force of I has a lesser force than the right force of I, then my dominoes of I is having a left L. If it is equal, I'm not going to declare, because there is a equal amount of force coming from the both their directions, so that will be remaining same like that itself. So we have filled one case. Else, if there is another case, if my right force of I not equal to -1 or my left force of I not equal to -1, if my right force of I is not equal to -1, then what is the direction of dominoes? Dominoes of I is my left direction. Else, if my left force of I is not equal to -1, then my dominoes of I is right direction. Sorry, the right force is not -1 means then its direction is R, and if my left force is not -1 means then the direction is L. I have changed it, sorry. So just we have filled the dominoes string, and just we are going to return this dominoes at the end of the day. As simple as that. So this is the solution.